Welcome back. The Love Boat Project, episode 19. Ahoy, Mike. How are you today?
About to make our 20s, our last teenage episode.
It was wild when I said 19. I kind of froze for a second because I just was like, wow. Episode 20 right around the corner.
We're coming to the end of the season, which is crazy.
We just started, though. Yeah.
So many.
It's a big episode this week. We have two Taylors on one podcast. It's amazing.
Can't handle that much. That's too much.
Like New York in 1908.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Multiple Taylors in the same spot.
So please welcome my brother, one and only Chris Taylor, to the Love Boat Project.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome aboard, Chris.
Thank you.
Have you ever been on a cruise? We ask everyone the same thing.
Yes.
You have?
Ooh. I have. That was my senior trip. I was 18. That was 2002. Oh, so long ago. It was Carnival Cruise, and we did a 5-day to Nassau, Bahamas for our senior trip, and never been on a cruise before that.
How's the food?
It was all right. It wasn't anything like spectacular. It was all buffet food, but when you're 18 and waking up in the afternoon and they're like, here's a full buffet with like burgers and just whatever, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I could see that. See that.
I mean, that makes more sense than like prime rib and all the fancy pants stuff they have on these boats.
We don't need that
in the show.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Golden Corral on water. That's kind of like what it was like.
See, I'd sign up for that. That's the first good cruise ad I've heard this whole season.
Yeah, the only bad thing I remember was you didn't pay cash for anything. They gave you like it was your hotel room key card almost. And Smart. I was 18 and I was like, what do we do with this? And use that to pay for everything. International waters, 18, you're allowed to drink.
Yeah.
So I'm just, here's the card.
Wow.
And at the end of the cruise, they give you a receipt.
How much did they get you for?
Oh, the cruise, I remember this it was $1,200. So, I saved up my money so I could go $1,200, 5 days. The worst room you could possibly have, but I didn't care. And
did you have a roommate or did you have a solo room?
Oh, I brought my girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
Who ended up getting sick and stayed in the room the entire time.
That's a shame.
One of my best friends, Logan, I played soccer with him. He's in the Special Forces now, still. And his girlfriend broke up with him on the cruise while they were same room and everything. So we spent the whole entire cruise with me and him just, walking around, drinking, gambling, and just, everything's going to be okay, man. Yeah, it was a rough day on the sea.
That will absolutely be a plot line. In the next season and a half.
Oh yeah.
Getting dumped, but you're still on the boat. Oh.
So that's well. Do you want to stay in my room with my sick girlfriend?
No. Well, well, that's not only a few. We've had a few guests this season, and I would say less than half, right? In the end, we had Amin who's been on a cruise.
Amin, Dan, Beth. Tanya, so 4, 5 now. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting up there.
All right,
we're on a good roll. Not your
good to know. Yeah, good to know and maybe understand your frame of reference. So we are here to talk about the Love Boat Season 1, Episode 19. Computer Man, Parlez-vous, and Memories of You are the 3 stories of this episode. Here's a fun fact. This is a special episode. This episode aired on a Monday night at 10 p.m.
Really?
They just had an episode on the 11th on Saturday night, the one we just talked about.
Yeah.
2 nights later, an hour later, this was on.
But so that makes it February 13th. They didn't have the Valentine's Day episode special on the 14th.
Right. I think something was maybe Wednesday was that Dynasty? Maybe it was like a Dynasty. Who knows?
I think they were just trying to get people hyped up for Valentine's. It's like put all your good stuff on Christmas Eve.
Well, can you imagine in a 7-day period there was 3 episodes of The Love Boat?
That's a lot.
Well,
Love Boat.
I couldn't find
That's too much.
the TV listings. It was driving me crazy. I couldn't get an accurate date, and I didn't know if it was because of the two-parter, and I just looked at it, I was like, "Wow." So a new thing I like to add is this IMDb rating, because Mike, now I'm obsessed with it now.
Well, we talked about it. It's not really going to vary for a while.
Nope. Just wanna just
Just confirm that.
just to confirm whatever, that judge is saying, a 6.9.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good rating. That's
We
why I
haven't
had
had
it.
a lot of 6.9s this season, I would say.
Mm-mm. So let's just think about that.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
okay. So, frame of reference, that one we watched a couple weeks ago that was terrible was a 6.1.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say this is a full point better than that one. So, yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
What's on TV? All right, so on that night at 10 p.m., this is uncharted territory. We never talk
Monday
about
is
Monday.
crazy. Monday in February, this could be anything.
So CBS, 10 p.m., an hour-long episode of Lou Grant,
Ooh. Oh.
which
Mary Tyler Moore cast
Right.
collide.
right.
Right.
So that's interesting. NBC starting at 9 o'clock that night, a 2-hour special, King Part 2, with Cecily Tyson and Tony Bennett. It was like a television special, and it was the story of Dr. Martin Luther King stretching from his days as a Southern Baptist minister up to his assassination. Yeah,
Wait.
in
Why is Tony
1968.
Bennett listed
What? Died.
in
It's
King?
alive. He's singing about it. Sad, but singing.
Oh, he was
you know?
singing.
Yeah,
It wasn't like a biopic.
No. It was like a
Oh.
TV special.
Yeah, that'd be
One of
weird.
those. Yeah.
Bennett.
No,
I
it's
thought
Tony Bennett.
What are you
played
doing?
Martin Luther King. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he played Dr. King. Tony Bennett played Dr. King.
Hey, everybody, let me tell you something. This is
Yeah.
fantastic. I got a
Yes,
dream.
yes,
Let me
yes.
tell you.
San Francisco. All right. Let's talk about the synopsis of this episode. And again, for the record, the synopsis comes from the TV listing, the official TV listing, because we've had some wacky synopsis.
So this
year.
is what you would have seen
Yes.
Monday when you were perusing your TV guide.
Flipping because there's no
Oh, the TV guy.
TV channel. Yeah.
Like a literal TV guide.
An inventor brings a matchmaking machine aboard. Okay.
Did he invent it?
He just says here,
Nah.
I don't know if he's an
I got a
inventor.
lot
He
of
brought
comments
it.
on
His-
old
Wow.
Frankie Avalon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I
That's
was
Philly Frankie. Fortune seekers pretend to speak only French.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I mean,
vanilla.
that's not wrong. Yeah.
And an ad executive sees a long lost love.
I mean, these are all technically true, which for the synopsis
being-
is actually pretty good. So
They're being painted with the widest of all brushes, though.
I
So
mean-
they're like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
no, the boat is on water.
we've
know,
had
like-
synopsises that are just flat out wrong or
Oh, it's like,
misleading
what?
or like so.
So we had to get some like consistency. It was getting crazy, and I don't know. It's so weird. All right, so let's talk about some guest stars. Holy, now not everyone who appeared on this episode was listed
Right.
pre-porthole, as the list. I would like to get into a few of them. Let's get into the ones that weren't listed first. And obviously the one that came to mind was Shelley Long, who
Yeah,
I feel like
crazy.
she was playing a young Diane Chambers. 'Cause she
Oh, yeah. You can see
Yeah.
the bones of Diane Chambers in there pretty quickly. So.
absolutely.
But it was funny because so no portals. She's obviously not listed in the credits anyway.
Well,
I went through the whole first act the first time I watched it. Didn't pick up what was her. I only realized it when I was trying to make sure that was Frankie Avalon. I quick went to my IMDb in between Act 1 and 2 and saw
Yeah.
Shelley Long, and then I realized it was her.
Shelley Long played one of those 3 women that were hooked up by the
Hot
machine.
Trot. Yeah.
Yeah. She was Heather McKenzie. I just thought that was interesting. Georgianne LaPierre, again, she played Betsy Carruthers. The only reason I bring her up, she was
the one
previously
with the
married.
camera.
The camera.
Yeah.
Previously married to Michael Madsen. I thought that was interesting.
The actor?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Mark Madsen, the basketball player. Completely different guy.
Oh, I'm thinking of Mark Madden, the Pittsburgh
Oh,
sports
yeah.
guy. Yeah. Let's bring up some of the big ones. I have mostly just little tidbits on everyone except for Patty Duke. Patty Duke Aston, I should say. I was just looking in research, and man, I saw something terrible. So, she's the standard. She won an Academy Award for playing Helen Keller, and I'm talking about Lily, right, in the show.
Mm.
So she won an Oscar. She won 2 Golden Globes, 3 Primetime Emmy Awards. She played identical cousins on the Patty Duke Show. Okay, that's the good news. Let's get to it. When Duke was 6, her mother forced her father to leave the family home. When Duke was 8, her care was turned over to talent managers John and Ethel Ross, who, after promoting Patty's brother, were looking for a girl to add to their stable of child actors.
That's a choice word.
The Rosses' method of managing Duke's career were unscrupulative and exploitive. Sorry. They billed Duke as being 2 years younger than she actually was and padded her resume with false credits. They gave her alcohol and prescription drugs, took unreasonably high fees, and made sexual advances towards her. She never saw her father and saw her mother only when she visited to do the Rosses' laundry. In addition, the Rosses made Duke change her name by saying, Anna Marie is dead. You're Patty now. They took her name and gave her a new name, and just like this weird child actor, she seemed pretty normal to me. You know what I mean? Patty's okay, right?
She
Yeah.
also is
I know.
back.
Yeah.
I'm glancing over that stuff because there's nothing I can say about that. It's all
Oh
terrible.
no! I'm just like, oh, it's so sad. All right, let's move on. Good
She
Lord.
but you
Yeah.
realize that she's a returning champion.
She is a returning champion.
So
Because
we're
remember,
back.
it was always a story that she couldn't do with the yeah.
We had we
2.
had 1 week in between, but this is our 3rd returning guest in 4 weeks. So
Oh,
That's-
wow.
I wonder
It's
if
all that
he's-
acting she's been doing, She started young.
I wonder if it was
you
a
won't
money
see us.
thing.
You won't see us doing that in the season.
No. We will never do that. Frankie Avalon, Philadelphia's own.
Hmm.
54 years of TV. Is there something you would like to address
that's
here?
fair. I did not care for Mr. Avalon in this episode. Maybe I wasn't supposed to, but
In general, or just specifically in this episode?
in this episode, I have no qualms with Frankie Avalon one way or the other. So me and him haven't crossed paths.
All
so.
right, fair enough. Barbie Benton as Brigitte LeBlanc appeared on the cover of Playboy 4 times. She was a 4-season regular on Hee Haw.
Really?
Yeah. Probably a
Playing that French
non-speaking
character?
role. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, she. That's funny.
She just
I
reminds
looked
me of
her
like
up. I looked her up on IMDb. There's one picture of like her and some other bombshell of the 70s. I can't remember who.
Like
and
Brigitte
Hef-
Bardot or some.
and Hugh Hefner. So it was just a weird picture. It's on there. So
There was some. Yeah, I guess he was like madly in love with her. But I get it.
yeah.
I'm
she
not
looks
mad
like
at her.
Megan Fox's grandmother. Like,
Oh yes.
yeah, she does. She looks a lot like her.
Her nose is so nice. It looks like one of the newer noses that's nice, but there was no technology then. Like
they
that's
didn't
just
exist.
a natural nose. That's the craziest part of the whole thing.
Do you think her and Yvonne were supposed to be of a similar age? Because
Oh,
I thought
that's
Yvonne was her mom for
that's
a while.
optimistic.
Same.
I don't
Yeah.
think Yvonne thought that was unrealistic. I think she was like, oh, well.
Bleu, bleu.
Jamie Farr, another MASH cast member. How many is that now? 3 or 4.
Swit.
Radar.
Radar. Is that it? 3?
That's 3. He played, I don't want to say obviously, but he played a character named Corporal Maxwell Klinger on a TV show called MASH. interesting fact about that character, he was the first main character introduced on the MASH, the TV show, not to have appeared in either the original novel or the movie. So he was the first original like TV character.
That's interesting.
I always liked Jamie. He's just so likable. He was on those old 70s game shows and he just seemed like a decent guy. Maybe he wasn't, but he was likable.
He always feels like he's playing himself too.
Yeah, he's not acting. He's not
No.
it's weird.
He's not doing Hamlet out there.
No.
No.
And the last person is Ricky Nelson, of course. Ted Wilcox, Alex
Or-
Fowler, huge star.
AKA.
Yeah. Placed 54 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 between 1957 and 1973. And Adventures of Ozzie of Harriet aired on ABC from 1952 to 1966. The longest running live action sitcom in U.S. television history until what show surpassed it in 2021? Any guesses?
Live action?
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny.
Live action. Longest run. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Always Sunny.
Yeah.
And they're still going. So interesting. Yeah, Rick Nelson was, a star. It's odd that they got him on this episode. That dude was a giant star.
Even then, in 1978, I wasn't sure.
Oh, I would definitely think so. The last song he had to be on the Hot 100, Billboard Hot 100, was in 73.
And that's
But
5 years out. I don't know. I guess my question is, was he a star or was this the equivalent of having Desi Arnaz Jr. a couple weeks ago?
No, bigger than that. I bet you he's like doing a Vegas thing. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Playing the hits in a hotel. Like I can see that. But
He's got a
Vegas.
residency.
Yeah, not Atlantic City, Vegas.
Not Bronson,
Yeah.
Branson.
Was that even a...
I don't think it was a thing then. Well, no, because didn't our boy Jim Stafford, didn't he have something somewhere in the Midwest?
That's right.
This was a very Jim Stafford-esque role.
That's a good call.
He was fine. Ricky Nelson was fine.
He was fine.
I'm glad he got 2 guitars in, but no singing.
Yeah, right?
Weird.
I got a lot that's stupid.
There's a lot about a lot of that. So I'm just excited. I am absolutely going to get to use a Nelson clip in a reel.
Oh, one of the
yeah, Gunner and
Love and Affection. That's a good one. Yeah,
I don't know any of them off the top of my head. I'm not as much of a Nelson fan as you, I guess. But
I had the tape back in the day. I'm sorry. All right. Anything to add before we hop on the boat? I'll take that.
I wish I was born 10 years older.
What's that?
I wish I was born like 10 years, past when I was, all these names and,
It's all readily available though. You know what I mean? You just go down a wormhole,
I am excited that the star of this whole production was not mentioned in your list, nor was he on the cast, nor can you really find anything about him. So looking forward to talking about that guy.
Who are you referring to?
Oh, we'll get to him when we get to him.
Danny Evans?
I have him written in all caps when he comes up on the show. So don't try and guess now. We'll get to it.
Okay. Well, now, okay. I just want...
we'll get
Well,
to
there is one more. Well, I don't want to say it because if you say it, then
I don't even know his real name. I only know him by his character name. That's all that matters.
All right. All right. Let's
if
get
you keep talking. You will find out who it is.
I know. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. This is a Valentine's Day. This is a Valentine's cruise, which is interesting to me. Is that really what you want to do on a? And is this a shorter cruise?
Makes more sense than any of the theme cruises.
Christmas one?
It's way more sense than the Christmas cruise.
How long is this cruise? Did they stop anywhere?
I think it's just 3 days. I think they don't seem to stop on those 3-dayers.
They just go to a point and come back.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So a cheery Captain Steubing, you see him, greets Julie and Gopher, and he's excited for the Valentine's cruise. Again,
way too excited.
He has he has no professional bearing, this guy. Like he's wearing one of these stupid things. Just the whole
Did you catch that when he was pointing at his
Mm-hmm.
little heart?
Yeah.
What finger he was using? It wasn't this finger, and it wasn't this finger. He was staring at
Oh,
you, give him the middle.
oh,
3 minutes in,
no.
yeah.
oh.
Oh,
Well,
caught that off the
we've
bat.
established he's
Wow.
not good with saluting, so maybe his
No,
fingers are
two
just
fingers.
all.
Yeah, maybe his fingers don't work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's maybe it.
Julie obviously shares his excitement because nobody likes a boat full of single men more than Julie.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Good Lord. And reminds him that she hired a matchmaking computer to pair up singles seeking love. And immediately I'm like, oh boy, it's 1978. What's this thing going to look like? You beep, 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 beep.
So Steubing is, like I said, way too excited about this. He's already like jumping the gun about it. But Julie frames it in this scene as an icebreaker, right? It's more of like, oh, you're filling out cards and whatever. But then when we get to it, this is like an arranged marriage. This computer
Yeah.
spits out 2 names and you spend the whole cruise with them against your
Or-
will for the most part. So,
Well, only 3 couples.
well, that we saw.
Mhm.
Everybody else was happy.
And that
It's like the
computer
original
was
grinder.
spent. Yeah, right. It's just you had to write in all caps, like a huge.
That computer, I had so many ideas of what that computer was going to be. It delivered on exactly what I thought it was going to be. So,
It's hoping for more buttons and beep beep beep, just
Yeah.
like you'd find it
Taking a
in Adam West's Batcave. It's one of those kind of things. Spits out a card. Steubing says, "Do you have a card for me to put in the?" And I wrote, "He has nothing to do. You have time to fill out a profile card. You're about to leave. You're the captain of the ship." We know how I feel about him, but it just makes no sense to me. Like, just look busy. We meet Heather McKenzie and her friend Penny Jacobs. They check in. They meet fellow passenger and love seeker Betsy Carruthers. This I think Penny is the one. The
So
the
I
redheaded.
wrote them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote the names down because I needed to keep them straight. So Betsy
Yeah.
has the camera. Heather has the hat.
Shelley Long. Okay.
Penny has the hots.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense now. Okay. Yeah. She was
Penny was ready to go. Penny was
she
ready
was.
to go.
She didn't have time for food. She's like, dinner's a waste of time. Growl.
Yeah.
She couldn't even like
Crazy.
finish a sentence without trailing off onto some man.
She's gonna rip that dude's mustache off at the end of this episode. Good Lord.
And that's the guy.
That's the guy.
So
That's
they
the
go,
guy.
they look over, and there's 2 guys, and here comes the 3rd guy, the man with the mustache, Chet Maxwell. That's the
Wait.
name in the show. So there's 3 guys, right? There's 2 guys originally talking, and they're looking at him because the one guy's got a camera, so the camera girl's all hot to try.
Yeah.
And then Mustache comes over, and it's Chet Maxwell, and he's
Chet
the 3rd man.
Maxwell?
Yeah. The guy
I
at the end
thought-
where they said he didn't talk much.
Right, but
It was
he's
kinda
a
like a
man of
wink.
action.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Chet Maxwell, written in all caps in every note I have about Chet Maxwell.
No kidding. Yeah, it's funny because I just
Yeah, you were
Hold
probably
on,
just
'cause
overtaken
we're
by the
meeting-
sheer masculinity of that group.
I got a little scared.
He looked
Well,
like
because-
Don Fry.
He did look a little like Don Fry. He
He
had a
did.
fine stash.
He did.
Well, one of
That-
those guys was on a show I used to like a lot. Lawrence Casey played Daryl Matson. He was known for being on the show Rat Patrol. That's where I thought you might be going. Do you remember Rat Patrol?
I do not remember
Oh,
Rat Patrol. That
It's
must be
bad
on me.
when you. It's bad when you don't remember it.
Is it
That's
Rat like
really-
RATT?
No, it was like British Army in Africa in the desert.
Oh,
It was a
did
cool
not.
show. They had like dune buggy kind of things. They always were wearing goggles.
Oh, like Buckaroo Banzai?
It turns out I'm just a fan of goggles. It's weird. I don't even like
Not a
war.
goggle.
James Worthy in it. When they flash over to the 3 guys talking, it looks like every magazine ad for cigarettes or beer in the 80s. Like if you have an old Sports Illustrated and you pull it up and there's like Newport or Meisterbrow or just guys sitting
Marlboro.
around a deck, that's what
Stetson.
that looked like. Yeah. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Testosterone.
But you got to imagine that's just a small sample of 400, sex crazed singles on a 3-day cruise to some point in the ocean and back. Anyway, Doc, oh boy,
Hmm.
Doc approached a passenger named Lily, but Lily makes it clear she has zero interest in hooking up with him. She also said she had no idea that this was going to be a singles cruise.
Do you want to know what my one small note is for Doc that I had?
Please.
Doc is a horn dog.
Yeah.
I put that was the first.
I think that he heard the dock signal from the horny girls down in the other side of the boat and then ran into Patty Duke. I don't think he was even going that way, but he just got stopped. He was en route to Penny and just got stopped.
Oh, then it would have been
a different show if he had gotten to Penny.
Yeah. Oh, it's add a fourth story. Good Lord.
Man.
Doc asks if she'd like a tour of the ship. Just as she sees a man she knows and yells, "Alex," starts rushing his way. He stares back at her blankly, and this is Ricky Nelson here, and says she has the wrong person. And she explains to Doc that the man looked exactly like someone she was once close to. And I wrote, Doc could care less.
It would have been funny if Doc would have been like, "That's weird. You look like somebody I just met 13 episodes ago."
No kidding. No kidding. That's wild. Here we go. Julie summons Gopher to get his translation assistance for 2 passengers. They only speak French. Here, didn't Julie live in Paris? Haven't we established that?
She spent 3 weeks in Paris. And I don't think old buddy, what's his name, was taking her out.
Letting her out of the house.
Yeah, I don't think she was getting out too much. I don't even know that she was really in France. Buddy just told her she was in France. But no, that was just 3 weeks.
She was out.
But she was an airline stewardess. Yeah. So. I do think this is. I do think this is a good idea. I feel like there should be some of the basic languages, right? Somebody on that boat should speak
on a cruise. Makes
Spanish, sense. French, maybe a little Japanese.
That's
Mexican.
another thing.
Yeah,
with my cruise background knowledge, vast knowledge that I have for the one cruise, every one of the employees, the crew members, was from. It had it on their name tag. I remember it had their name, and it would say Nigeria or Sweden. They were from everywhere.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's great.
I mean, it's just customer
they
service.
probably don't have it on this boat because up until this episode, everyone's been from Los Angeles.
Yeah. No help.
They just let's go for a lap.
Yeah.
Really?
I did do a deep dive. That Gopher, the actor Fred Grandy, I hope I'm saying that last name right, fluent in French.
How about that? So he was playing dumb.
He didn't mention that in the email he sent.
Yeah, Fred Grandy also fluent in catfishing your brother on Facebook.
Oh,
yeah, hook, line, sinker. I'd do it all over again. I wouldn't change a thing. Fake Fred Grandy, whoever you really are.
Who's the fake Fred Grandy? Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
If you're gonna pick someone to be a fake, that's a hell of a pick. I bet he's got
Fred
multiple.
Grandy that then goes after this show.
Well, didn't we have a fake Mark Harmon? We had a fake Mark Harmon for a bit too. So I mean, maybe it's the same guy. He does all I love summer school and the love.
Hey, it's Julie.
No, they know who's run the Facebook account, who's run the Instagram account. In terms
yeah,
of
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, like a newborn baby. Just terrible.
Oh, no.
Gopher introduces himself, and he meets 2 ladies, Brigitte and Yvonne, as they hand him a note requesting a French-English translator. Gopher boasts about how he's practically bilingual, and then he doesn't speak French. He just doesn't speak French. Yeah, here's my thing though: is Julie that dumb? Number one, that she's going to think he speaks French, and number 2, he clearly doesn't speak French, and she's just not picking up on it, or is she so focused on every single man entering the boat that she's just
listen? There are 2 passengers who, in theory, speak French.
Right.
Gopher will now take care of that. That's one thing off of Julie's plate. The inspector's not on the boat this week. They don't have to worry about quality.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then another thing. So they head off to their cabin, but they never got a room number. That was the other thing I noticed. Normally, you have to
Gopher
know
was
what
going
deck
with them,
and
though,
room.
right?
Yeah,
Gopher
I'm
went with
just.
him. He's got the rooms.
I think I'm just irritated about the Gopher speaking French thing. So now I'm just, it's not fair that I'm picking on
All the
Gopher.
stuff, all the stuff in this episode. That's where you're gonna get hung up on.
No.
Yeah,
It's just where I
yeah.
start to get hung up.
Okay.
That's just the beginning of it.
Because I'm pretty sure the Mass Brain Trauma Federation has got some comments on this.
Yeah, I got some
this
interest. That
episode
was a rough
later.
one. That was a rough one.
That's
I had to pause the episode. I was like, okay. A computer is brought onto the boat, and
Right.
I guess it's a computer.
on a cart that you use to wheel out a wedding cake,
Yeah, or like an
Or-
AV cart.
or that's that launch that they sent that old guy out last week to the hospital on. That thing was huge.
Why didn't they just put it on like where they put the cases of Heineken? Just load it like that.
Yeah.
The thing. So it's carried on the out of the boat, and the man in charge of the computer matchmaking thing, Mr. Nick Hyder, says hi doll face to Julie.
Yeah.
Which I thought, wow, that's
Aggressive.
aggressive.
Yeah.
That is, whoa, what are you?
They could have gone one of two ways with this computerman guy, right? Either complete scumbag ladies man like Frankie
Right.
Avalon, or complete nerd. One or the other. There was no middle, so they made
See,
a choice.
They should have gone nerd. I think they should have gone the other way, or
I
you make
agree.
Frankie Avalon a nerd somehow.
Just put glasses on him.
Just
Retain-
they
Yeah.
love to switch it around. Marsha was on with shorter hair. I mean, just flip it.
Yeah.
I will give them credit. Whoever decided to name him Nick Hyder, that is exactly the kind of guy that would, basically fix a matchmaking computer
Yeah.
Oh,
to get
yeah.
Julie. So,
Well, I thought
not a
I thought
fan.
he did.
He
Like
did.
where Julie in the cabin where it was hot cocoa.
Yeah, he fixed it.
don't even-
Somehow Julie, it seemed like you're hung up on Julie not picking up on Gopher not speaking French. She didn't pick up on him fixing the thing when she never filled out a card.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. So
He spells her name wrong.
it's not a banner episode for Julie. We're
No.
back. We're back on the downtrend.
Oh,
for Julie.
poor Julie.
You remember he kissed her neck or her collarbone, like immediately, like the
Good
first.
dude, man. Oof. Yeah, he's just saying about how many people they've matched up, and says that she might be next. She kind of says that she's at work. She doesn't participate in these sort of things. To your point, I never even thought about her never filling out a card.
She
Oh,
says
the girl, they
when
must
she
have met.
gets called. We'll get to it when she gets
I don't even-
called.
Didn't even catch
She's
it.
like, "How did that happen?"
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Very weird.
Oh, I remember that. I remember him saying the whole.
The one thing, he is definitely Julie's type in that he is the worst.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. She loves it, and he's
Perfect.
older. So, how old do you think Frankie Avalon here was?
So I looked it up.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you look it
boy.
up?
No. So let me.
Okay.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's older because I love to do that. Like make them 70s. Jeez.
Now I want to make sure I'm right, but
When did Back to the Beach come out? Back to the Beach was that 80s. So it's 10 years. I say he's 57.
Whoa.
in this episode, you think he's 57?
1978. Yeah.
Okay, Chris, any guess?
I think he's 41.
Okay, well, I am going to confirm this, but Chris definitely is right.
Damn it.
I believe he was 37.
In this? Are you
Oh.
kidding me?
I am double checking now because that sounds almost.
There's
too young.
no way. There's no way.
Frankie Avalon, according to IMDb, was born September 18th, 1940.
There's no way.
He is 37 in this episode.
Hold on.
If Frankie Avalon was not lying about.
Okay. Hold on a second.
He's
Then
You
how-
gotta look at
this-
the picture
this-
again.
Hold on. This guy was on TV for 54 years. Okay.
Mhm.
54 years.
He was in Greece.
It doesn't. It
He was
doesn't
a
make.
teen angel in Greece. He was only 16.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Do the
I
math.
don't know why. Because so what they do in a lot of these is
Mhm.
they'll have an older guy play a younger thing, just to, and then
Yeah,
it's weird. Oh damn! Why
I mean, I was
57?
shocked.
I don't know.
That's why I
Wow.
remembered it. I looked that up. Like when I realized Shelley Long was in this episode, that's when I found out that Frankie Avalon was 37 when they made this. It's shocking. He looks.
Yeah, it is shocking.
You know what's Mike?
Huh.
He looks older than the old dad in the last episode.
Absolute
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
So that's ridiculous.
it was the hair. The hair was. It
Yeah.
looked like a piece. It looked like a piece.
Yeah.
So we see a cut scene, and in this cut scene, we see Stubing. He's actually operating
I
something.
knew you were going to call this out.
So he's not on the bridge. He's not steering the ship. No.
What do you think that was?
He's on the back with these two giant levers. I said, no clue what the hell he's doing. He's doing nothing.
Do you know how many times I went back and
I couldn't
paused
figure it out. I did the
so
same thing.
that thing was-
You too.
I'm like, what is?
Yeah,
It looks
There's
like a
nothing-
giant remote control airplane thing.
yeah. Or like
It was like one of those
Bowflex,
green machines. Yeah, I'm like,
the
what?
ski. Yeah,
Yeah, he's got
God,
an
yeah.
arcade crane machine. He's like,
Yeah.
I bet you he got tired of all the heat. People saying you don't even do anything, and he was like, "Watch me work these two sticks,
Yeah.
But that's-
metal."
that's the most. Except there's one scene, same idea. These cut scenes, they probably shot.
Oh,
all
and
these,
he's, like, in this
before the
thing, and
show
he
even
looks-
started. There's one where he's like, waving the boat in or something.
Yeah, because that's what captains do. Like he's helping someone back out of a spot. Just worthless, stupid.
So do
Stubby
you count
was right.
this? Do you not count this as Stubing actually steering a boat or no?
No, you steer a boat with a steering wheel in the bridge up. And he's outside by himself with two sticks
And
in
a
the back of the
walkie-talkie, you're
boat.
never by yourself when you have a walkie-talkie.
That's funny. It's funny that you knew I'd bring that up because it's just man.
Oh, I have. Mike will bring this up. You don't need this many notes.
Oh man. Gopher delivers a welcome basket to the French ladies. He asked Brigitte, with his terrible French,
Mhm.
if they would like to go dancing later. Different time, I guess. Dancing?
What? What's he gonna say?
I don't know. I don't- No, but
He's a
like,
gentleman.
maybe, well, again, he's at work. Like, you want to have dinner later?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you want to go dancing? Maybe it's because I'm not much of a dancer. I just can't imagine going.
Well, they had that on the cruise. Once again, my vast.
Oh, I
knowledge of
bet you they
cruises.
had some dancing.
It was
I-
a one night dinner. You had to wear a suit. If you were a guy dressed for girl, like it was real nice. First time I ever had escargot. Not allergic to that, surprisingly.
They can just scrape that right off the.
Gosh, oh, it was. But yeah, the same thing where it was like older people were dancing, and I'm just sitting back looking, going, "Man, this is
I mean,
it's odd on water."
I think people just danced more in the 70s. I think it was more of a thing. I think people went places more, and like maybe I'm just clueless. Maybe that still happens. I don't know.
To be fair, we've established this on almost every episode of this show. Like, if you're Gopher in this scenario, you're not even making it to the door. You're just crumpled in a corner in the
Yeah.
hallway somewhere. Like, you're not. I mean, so I understand why you wouldn't ask the French girl
No,
to go
no, no,
dancing,
no,
but
no,
like,
no,
I don't think
no.
it's weird that Gopher did.
I don't dance.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
to be
couldn't
fair,
do
did you
it.
see Gopher dance? He's not much of a dancer either.
Yeah, but he didn't. But he thinks he
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the thing.
They
If
all
you're under
dance
the
like
Revenge of
Kevin
the
in
Nerds
Home Alone
theme.
when he's pulling the strings.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. That's funny. He whatever. Good for him, right?
It worked.
Sorry. Once Gopher leaves, Brigitte tells Yvonne in English, we're speaking
Yeah.
English now.
The
She doesn't
gig is
know.
up.
Yeah, the gig is up. That she doesn't know if she can keep this thing going for this whole trip. Again, you can't keep that up for 3. I once I thought about starting a job years ago with an English accent and just going in day one. I don't know anybody there. Just go in and then just slowly like wean them off. But she can't do 3 days of an accent
What was
because
Yvonne's plan
gold
in
digging.
terms of like how long does she have to keep this up? Like what if
Yeah.
Klinger is like, I want to marry you? Is she just be French
Boom.
forever?
No. Once you're married, that's it. Okay. Good.
Aha, gotcha. Once that's signed, no prenup.
Or she could just
Oh,
let it
Wow.
like gradually, you know,
And we
like
find out
maybe
later.
mm,
Yeah, I think people fall in love like within one day. There was a little "I love
oh,
you."
there's a
You
lot
know
of
what I
that.
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. It was a
At
simpler
least,
time.
this was a love themed,
Mhm.
cruise intention, so it was
Yeah.
a little less acceptable.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that computer worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing.
I mean, pre-internet, people moved fast. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Did you notice that Yvonne was dressed like Han Solo?
I didn't.
Captain the Millennium
I
Falcon.
can see it.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's funny. I didn't catch that. Yvonne reminds her that they're after gorgeous, not cute. And I guess
That's why you
her
go to Jamie Farr.
yeah, that's why you go to Jamie Farr. Okay. But in truth, I mean, it was just it was a gold digging expedition for
Yeah.
Yvonne, basically.
Yeah,
Which
is fine.
she was
I just don't understand. I feel like you're putting a lot of effort in. Like you don't have to start with the French thing, right? Like
Well,
you take a couple shots, and if it's not working out, then you go to the French thing.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Yvonne was banking on Brigitte, like reeling in a big fish, and by proxy, Yvonne would, because let's be honest
Get a
here,
friend.
who's
Yeah.
doing the heavy lifting is
No,
Brigitte,
you're right.
not Yvonne. So I
Yeah.
think that was part of the like,
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
because then it like, you know what I mean? And Brigitte, as attractive as she is not, you know what I mean? She's
She's
not
not
a,
Megan Fox's grandma. You know what I mean?
right.
Just
Well, I mean,
saying.
she's just, you know, she just didn't come across real, you know.
I almost think they needed to be like Yvonne needed to be her actual age, right? Like a little older, and that had to be her niece or whatever. And they were like flim-flamming gypsies on the always
Wow.
scamming, and that's what they were trying to do. And then
I'll
she
tell you
falls for
what,
Gopher. That would have made more sense.
if they would have pitched that to Yvonne, she would have thrown the veto flag. She would have been like, heck to the no. What? We're the same age. I'm younger than her, girl.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. And she
You
would
know?
have shot Greedo at the captain's table.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Nick. We're back to Nick. Frankie, the 37-year-old Frankie Avalon by the pool.
Not
Again,
50.
Wouldn't
I feel like your world is shook that he was 37.
that just blows my mind.
That's rough.
Why are they doing this poolside? Wouldn't you think back
computer thing?
then, for how
Well-
expensive this computer probably was, wouldn't you want it to like be in
No,
a
I will-
always dry environment inside,
have a
since it takes
cruise-
a truck to move it?
We have a cruise expert here, but if you remember, Amin mentioned that everything happens on that Lido deck on a real
Yeah.
cruise.
Yeah.
So I think that's just where things
That makes
happen.
sense. It's
Yeah.
the biggest gathering. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. And you can see him, this long line of people, and I don't know how he's feeding these things into the machine. I see the cards. At this point, you're just giving you like a kind of a view. We see Lily again. She's telling Doc she's not participating in this. That's not what she's here for.
Yeah.
They're like at the bar. Isaac agrees. And he says he doesn't need a machine to get women, which Mike and I know is complete nonsense. But rather one to fight them off.
I thought that was a top 3 line delivery of this entire
It was a
season.
good line.
When he said that,
Yeah.
that was just like when he was like, I don't need a machine to find women for me. I need them to keep them off me. It was like, that was so better than anything that Ted Lang has done.
It's better than when he called his mom a swinger. Definitely. He delivered this with much more confidence. And he didn't get slapped in the end.
No, he
So
didn't.
that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Doc, he's not,
He's not doing
Not
well.
giving up. He said,
Yeah.
basically, are you thinking about us, having some passionate affair? Like what?
Very creepy
What
again.
the fuck is
Again.
that about? Oh, pardon my French, but
Yeah.
I don't
Do you
get that
think
at
this is a
all.
response for Doc? Like the last couple episodes, Doc's kind of struck out, right? He got shown up when what's her name, Stephanie,
That's right.
shot the skeets better than him with one
Mhm.
arm. He kind of got beat out by those kids last week for the blonde.
Mhm.
I think Doc now he's striking out again. Like he might be going through a crisis of confidence.
Ugh,
He's just not picking the right people.
very
That's just
creepy.
if you have all the people, but this is the only one we see. I have to assume that when
He's
the
making
camera
rounds.
can't see him, he's running game all over the place. This
I
is just
also
a
think
little bit of his cruise.
I didn't notice it the first time. I did notice it on the rewatch. We'll get to it
Yeah.
at some point. I think it's very possible these two hooked up.
Oh, I came. Yep, I came to the same conclusion,
Yep.
and there was evidence. They were just cool about it.
Yep.
Huh.
Lily doesn't even respond. Shouldn't say anything. So she looks and she sees that guy she saw before. Then she shows Doc this picture and says, do they look like the same man? I mean, kind of, maybe. It was it wasn't like. And Doc
4 years is a long
doesn't
time.
care. He's gonna be like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
whatever they do, sure,
Sure, it's a dude.
sure, they look great, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care, baby.
Smell this rag. He said, yeah, there's a strong resemblance. Lily goes on, former agency partner and fiance. Yeah, you know what happened. This guy was like, enough of Lily. Enough work, home, I'm out. Yeah.
The Cupid Cologne jingle that made them millions or whatever.
Yeah.
Stinks.
Oh, it's
Stinky,
awful.
stinky jingle.
You just paid the tune.
Make her your own with Cupid Cologne.
She
Yeah.
sang it twice.
It's not a good jingle.
She was like winding up for that second go around at it too, and I was like,
Yeah.
slow
Yeah,
down,
ribbon.
Lily.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Very weird job.
comes over and this person who she thinks is Alec comes over and says, gets introduced to Lily, tells her his name is Ted Wilcox. Talk about moving fast, and invites her like, hey, join me for dinner tonight. Oh, I guess it's a singles cruise.
Yeah.
I guess it's a singles cruise. Okay.
Wilcox
Okay.
doesn't know anything. He's a handsome
Okay.
man. He's hitting on him. Sure.
Yeah.
This
The
chick
big-
staring at me. She has a picture of me in her wallet.
I might have
Yeah.
amnesia, but
Oh.
I know I'm still a stud.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the thing, though, that he had amnesia, but it was almost like he had amnesia about having amnesia. It's not like, hey, I lost my memory. Maybe we do know each other. Please talk to me. He's like, no, that's not me completely. It's like, did you lose your memory? Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
let's-
like, he had the
Faking
very
Totally faking it.
he had to give
Yeah.
rare double amnesia, which is very rare.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't think about the double amnesia.
Yeah.
So she accepts, and she tells Doc she is positive that this is the same man. Okay, we're gonna thank God we can put a pin on that and move on from that.
This
for a
is
second.
this is basically the same Act 2 plot of Muppets Take Manhattan, where Kermit gets hit by a car
You mean
and becomes a
Gil?
business frog, and
I'm
they have to go
Phil.
right. They have
Yeah.
to go beat the hell out of him to bring him back so he can put on the show.
Yeah, I'm Phil. I'm Gil. I'm Bill. This is Jill. And they hit him on the head.
And then they get married at the end. It's the same
get married
thing.
at the
They
end.
ripped off.
Yeah.
They ripped off Love Boat. Damn you, Jim Henson.
Yeah.
It's funny. Can we see Captain Steubing filling out his information card with his stupid name tag on still, with Julie's help.
So
That's weird.
didn't you think it was going to be a Scantron, like an old SAT?
That's what I thought.
That's
Not
what
like
I
the
thought.
computer ate it
Like
and
this
took your
computer
handwriting.
This computer is reading writing in 1978. Like,
You'd have to
what?
put holes in it. It would have to be like
Right.
like a Scantron, but like a hole punch thing, and
Exactly.
it would. They're
That's
gonna
all.
read you can read cursive.
I did a little
Right.
deep dive on this because I am a bit of a computer nerd. It's a Nixdorf computer by Hans Nixdorf. Never heard of it. They ended up selling Nixdorf computers to Siemens.
Nixdorf.
A
Two F's or
Nixdorf.
one? I
One.
feel like it's a two. One. Okay.
Oh.
So
Nixdorf.
it's not a 272 mini scan.
Yeah. That's why I was like, oh, it's Commodore. No.
That's funny.
Yeah.
She walks over to where Nick is about to fire up the 272 mini scan. That's funny. I wrote that down too. So the couplings are happening. We get this stupid
Yeah, that's
of
how
like
computers
4
work.
names. Yeah, that's
Yep.
how computers
That's
name.
War Games. They stole that from like, yeah.
It's terrible. So we announce first 2 pairs, Heather and Daryl. Betsy and Chet. My note
Chet
is
Maxwell.
with a super creepy I own a van mustache.
Yeah.
He has a German Shepherd named Dusty. He plays a lot of softball. He doesn't say a damn word.
He's a man of few words and many actions.
Fast forward, Yvonne reclines on a lounger next to Jamie Farr. This makes me laugh.
Who just shows
Like
up. Like,
Who-
isn't Jamie Farr like a pretty big star on this
Yeah,
episode? He just
yeah.
shows up like midway through Act 1.
Well, again, my thing that
Diva.
struck me, he's in a 3-piece suit. Who's going to the pool and hang out in a 3-piece suit? Okay.
Yeah.
If somebody's in a there's chicks and there's women in bikinis.
He's a commodities trader, Mike. He's not a swimsuit model.
Yeah, that's true. You make a good point. She asks him for a light. He oohs and ahs about how much he likes French ladies. Hook, line, and sinker, right? Sam, meanwhile, gets love match with Penny. Oh boy. I hope you
Damn.
hope you're hydrated, Sam.
Yeah.
And then Penny says to him, "This is your lucky day." And I wrote my notes like, what is going on here? Like, as soon as they announce the matches, is everyone just like, are they running to a room, one of their
Yeah.
rooms, and just
Penny is.
yeah, Penny
Yeah.
is.
This is not an icebreaker. This is a key party.
This is a go ahead.
Yeah.
Just surprised they have such. Well, that's probably why it was at 10:00.
Penny didn't need to
yeah.
go to a cruise to find somebody. Penny could have
Not in
gone
the 70s.
anywhere, you know.
No,
I mean,
Penny's-
yeah.
Penny's
as
quite
aggressive as
busy
she
at home.
was, yeah.
Gopher goes over to Yvonne and helps to translate the conversation between her and Jamie Farr. It turns out he's a commodities trader. Okay. I don't know if that means you're rich or you're super rich or you're not rich at all.
We
but-
had a yacht, so I assume he's rich.
Oh, that's right.
I just go to
that's right.
drugs. I was like, he's a drug, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's schnoz, right? Jamie Farr, he's famous for that thing. Good for you, sir.
Oh.
Lebanese descent. Anyway, Nick announces the next couple. It's him and Julie.
Creep.
Stubing is so eager for this thing to match him with anybody with a heartbeat. And then it says his profile seems to have broken the seems to have broken the 272 mini scan.
The Nixdorf, yeah.
So
It went down like that elevator that got stuck. It was the same way.
yeah, same engine, same operating system. Gopher runs into Brigitte in the passageway. Just as Jamie Farr, his friend Walt, and Yvonne come over. Seymour or Jamie Farr asks Gopher to explain to Brigitte how much Walt would like to have dinner with her. And when Brigitte says back, "Pourquoi pas?" Gopher doesn't say it really means why not. Basically, he lied and said that she's all booked up and that Walt has large ears, elven feet, and an unsightly nose that reminds her of a banana.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ouch.
That's
Why wouldn't
that's some
Yvonne be
doc-
like, yeah,
that's some doc level subterfuge there by Gopher, though, right? I mean, he's just straight up lying to these people what they're saying. So
Yeah.
it is amazing. It is
Respect.
amazing. But I would think Yvonne would like try to be like, yo, or something. She's got to be smarter than that.
Well, she did later.
Yeah, but she waited too long. I
Yeah.
think. Um,
On the dance floor. Yeah.
Walt storms off, and once they're kind of away, Gopher asks Brigitte if she'd like to have dinner with him. Lily, well, she knows that Ted is really Alex. She knows this. And here is the thing that drives me crazy. They're wearing identical rings that they like custom design for them. I'm like,
So
what?
What, you
It's
never
so
have?
dumb. It's so dumb. No.
what a coincidence.
What? Oh, really? I don't know.
Gin joints.
Custom made by my best friend, and then oh, what a coincidence. Next, just moving on.
So the other the other thing that's interesting here is that while we're having this discussion, Lily's talking to Doc. Doc's
Mhm.
like getting dressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
They
she does
totally
this
they
tie.
totally hooked up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it wasn't at his office too.
Yeah. I think it was like she doesn't want to be on this
Yeah.
cruise. She's pumping Doc for amnesia information.
Well,
And
Literally.
they're just two older people, they know each other from the previous episode.
being free.
Yeah. I thought it was nice. I thought it was a nice touch.
Nobody works. Nobody really works like Doc, Captain Stupid,
Isaac barely
Gopher.
works. Isaac
Gopher worked a little bit.
Yeah.
Did we see Isaac make a
Dating.
drink this episode?
No, he
Put a couple straws in.
he's in that bit. Oh, you know what? Apologies. The scene where Yvonne dumps the wine on
wine?
Gopher in the back, Isaac's like bartending it up in the back. Actually, a
Oh,
pretty
okay.
cool little cinematography there.
Interesting. So then I'm thinking now, okay, now we understand that maybe this is amnesia, right? So are we not going to plan to knock him in the head? Are we just going to try to talk to him and go, oh, why can't you remember? Why can't you remember? So we're just going to not try to hit somebody in the head with something medically
Kermit
to
style.
to fix that. Right. Kermit's going to Gil.
You're
Ted.
gonna lightly remind.
They don't even bring it up. There's not even like, well, what can we do? They were like, basically, she'll do anything to spark his memory, aka hit him with something.
Yeah.
I would assume. I mean, how else do you
No,
get rid
but-
of amnesia?
That's how you
No,
fix
her-
everything.
Her answer is to play backgammon with him,
Mm.
which is slang.
Oh,
His
yeah,
favorite,
yeah.
his favorite
Right.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
fine if it includes her hitting him in the head with a blunt object, like hard enough to jar his memory.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But what if he doesn't have amnesia, which is definitely possible?
I think he's got the double amnesia.
I think
He
he's got the
knows. He
fake
knows.
amnesia.
That was
He
the-
knows that most people think he doesn't remember. That's what
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It's
I
a
don't remember
it's
not
called a
remembering. So
memory hall pass for the rest
Ted.
of your life. Wait, how do I know you? I don't remember you. No.
We've
Nope,
got
Ted
matching
Wilcox.
rings.
Totally real
brilliant.
name.
It's
Ted
brilliant.
Wilcox.
You know, you play
Wilcox.
2 songs, you immediately go out to dinner. I mean, this guy's hitting home runs left and right.
And
Yeah.
spoiler, at the end, he basically is like, I kind of remember you.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's like, I love you. You should move.
You don't see what happens outside of the boat, though. They go outside of the boat. The taxi opens. He gets there in the taxi and smacks the trunk like he's smacking the back of a horse, and that's gone.
Yeah.
I gone again. My new
The
name
name's
is
Nick.
My new name is Roger.
He's underneath the computer table. Just
I'm out. Jamie Farr is telling his buddy Walt that the rejection from Brigitte was just like a misunderstanding. And they see him her dancing with Gopher. And he's like, go dance with her. Go, tells Yvonne he has a lot of money riding on showing Walt a good time.
What does that mean?
What does that even mean? Yvonne would do anything, I think, at this point, if you'd just be straight up with her and just say, look. So Seymour does this cut in. What we talked about before? What are the rules of a cut in? This is definitely not a cut inable thing. She asked Brigitte if she'd like to dance with Walt. Gopher by asking Brigitte. She replies with Why not?
Pourquoi? Yeah.
I speak English. Whew. Why, pourquoi pas?
Yeah.
And Walt assumes she's once again insulting his appearance, and she walks off. Yvonne runs after him and Jamie Farr, while Brigitte and Gopher continue to dance.
I think the cut-in rules, we talked about it. Like if it's your husband or wife, kind of no rules there, right? You can't cut in on a husband or wife.
Mhm. Yeah, but can you do it
Also,
on girlfriend, boyfriend, though? That's even like,
I mean, I think if you don't know any better, you can try, and I guess you can say no. Like you can say no, right?
who's it up to?
Ugh.
Can the guy say no? Does a girl have to say no? I wonder.
If you're the
I don't
guy,
know.
you're going to be
If you're the guy and
overprotective.
say
But if you're the
no, but what if
girl,
she's like, cool?
ugh.
Like, what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
That'd be a weird thing.
But I
Well,
think
because
if
then
you're
if she does, then
dancing,
it's like, what the hell?
I think if you're
It's
trying to
fun.
dance with a girl and they're dancing with an employee of the place you're at, you should be able to cut in. The customer's always right.
I agree. I totally agree with that. He's at work. He's wearing his work stuff. To me, if
Right.
you're wearing
Like
work
whenever
stuff,
I
you're
go
at
into
work.
Wawa and somebody's dancing, but also making a sandwich, I get right in there.
Yeah, I would like a sandwich, but not by the dancing person. I would like the
Right. Excuse me. Can I have a shorty and the next
Yeah.
dance?
Thank you. Oh, you guys sell pizza now? What? Come on, Wawa. That's funny. When Alex or Ted or whoever this person, you know what? When Double Amnesia notices that he and Lily are wearing the same ring, he says, "I don't know. I don't have any memory of it." Like, you don't know where.
Weird, huh?
Yeah. And then she spins this tale about how it's a unique and it was designed by, made by a New York jeweler. And he just goes, well, they must have made two of them.
And Wilcox is not inquisitive. He's just like,
You're just dumb. You don't have amnesia. You're just dumb.
He couldn't be more like plainly lying. He's like, oh, maybe they made two. She's like, what? Yeah, they made two. Yeah, they made two. That's what I just said. Of course they made two. Oh,
infuriating.
God, it made me laugh
He's
so
so
hard because I
dumb.
was like, you got to be kidding me. This guy's
He's so dumb.
box
It's
of
great.
rocks, this guy.
It's so fantastic. Come on, Ted. Alex.
Uh-oh. What's that? It's time for the jingle for Cupid Cologne. First of two, and it's awful. She's doing this because I guess he wrote the music, she wrote the words.
Right.
But he doesn't acknowledge it. Maybe that's why he left her, because he hated this stupid Cupid Cologne song.
He
That was
100% faked his own death because of that song. It's terrible. It's so embarrassing.
That broke the camel's back. That's what it was. Stupid Cupid Cologne song. And again, at the end, my notes were like, can we just hit this dude on the head now? What are we doing? This whole thing is a nothing. We can talk about jewelry. You know what, Lily? You're no further than you were before. Maybe if you hit him hard enough, it'd be like, all right, damn, okay. It's me. You got me. Like that Will Ferrell thing. Like, you better not stab yourself in the leg. Like, that cold. Very, very similar. Oh, here comes Nick. 37-year-old Frankie Avalon comes over to Julie while she's filling her plate. And I wrote, and boy, was she filling up that plate. And she's not eating any of that food either. I knew it was going to get, poor
Well, I mean, to be fair, we haven't seen Julie eat since that monkey stole all the food off her plate. So.
She's just scared of infection because
exactly.
No one's ever caught the monkey. We never saw the monkey leave the boat. We saw the monkey come back on the boat. All the food might be tainted. Just something to think about. Big buffet. And she's like, he's saying, you've been avoiding me all evening. Like, what? And he also says that according to the 272 mini scan, the two of them should be together. And she's like, no. And she gives a big spiel about love shouldn't be based on logic, but rather spontaneous and emotional.
This is the problem where I was like, Julie, honey, whether you're right or not, first of all, just say no. That's all that matters. But secondly, why are you not bringing up the fact that the computer did not match you up? Because I didn't fill out a card, bub. So why you clearly rigged it, you creep. Also, why are you in the machine, guy running the contest? Like,
I wrote, "Run, Frankie Avalon. Run now while you have a chance." Like, the
No,
second
I'd
she
say
starts
Julie
digging
runs. I'd
you,
say run Julie. No.
oh, I think she's nerds. Uh, Nick says, "I have a crush on you," and then he kisses her shoulder. Bear what a very that's really creepy. Like, that's really creepy. Like, he clearly understands that she is not all about him, and to do that after,
Do you think that's the one spot that Net Funicello wouldn't let him kiss?
that was her navel, I think, or is that what she agreed not to show in movies to Walt Disney?
One or the other.
Oh, that's I don't know. I had such a
Yes.
weird. It was a weird digesting that.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's in the wrong in this entire episode.
oh my god, yeah. Why don't you just be just normal
Why don't
and
you
just
not be involved, computer man? Because you know what I'm almost thinking is that you set up this whole scam just to
just to
bed
get Julie?
ladies.
Yeah.
So
What? No, what?
yeah.
I'm only 37. I don't have time to come up with a plan like that. I'm still young. Uh, uh, Double Amnesia invites Lily to his cabin so that he can play play a song he wrote, called Lily's Song, because they've known each other for about an hour, but not really, but yes, because double amnesia. It
He said he
it's
said he's
just
not good with lyrics. Maybe he's not good with titles either.
I tell you what she should have done is gone in there and just grabbed that guitar and just crowned him like Jeff Jarrett, just right on the crown of his head. Whew. Uh, so he plays this thing and she says that's the same melody as the jingle for Cupid Cologne, which, as we've learned, started this whole double amnesia horrible problem. Uh, Double amnesia mulls that over and he's like, what? Realizes, maybe she's right, and goes, huh, weird. Man, a few words. He didn't say anything. Dude doesn't talk. And he has like, it says 2 words, huh? Like, I there's just nothing going on. This guy was on TV. This guy acted. Like,
Well,
did he talk?
not as the character.
Yeah, but even if you have, he didn't forget how to talk. Like he can't communicate. Everything was in like 3 or 4 words, and then that would be it. Ricky Nelson tired. Like it was just it was so strange to me. Uh, Lily says, "Hey, let's team up. Let's team up, Double Amnesia, and let's make an original song together." And he was like, "Yeah." And he leans in and lands a smooch. But Lily pauses. Lily pauses and asks if their smooching reminds him of anything. And he says, of what? Just nothing with this guy. Of what? Last 2 lines were weird, and then of what? And she's like, just forget about it. Again, I don't like these storylines that just go nowhere, to just drag and drag. Like the last week with the father and the daughter, it was the same thing. Just this. What's your irritation level at this storyline? Am I the only one that's just like, I get it.
Chris, you have the cruise experience. Is this something you've come across a lot on a boat?
Yeah, good question. Any double amnesia on your cruise? No,
Chris is on mute.
you're on
He's
mute,
like
Chris.
Ted Wilcox.
Fair enough.
The problem with the Ted Alex thing, Mike, I think you're right, is they jump around very slow, and then really fast. Like it
Yeah.
goes from amnesia, discovery, how can I fix it? That weird ass fight on the deck, and then and then they're in love. So it all moved pretty fast.
It's just a tempest. Just all these crazy things happening at once. The next day, Julie wanders in the pool area and she's noticing all these couples. And she runs into Nick. Uh, says kind of good job for his matchmaking. And apologize for, the way she acted last night. I don't think she has anything to apologize
No,
for.
I agree. Like at best, all that's been accomplished is Frankie Avalon did what he was hired to do.
Right.
At best, right? But certainly not like the availability of dating Julie. You shouldn't apologize, Julie, for that guy being a creep and trying to swallow your collarbone.
Yeah, he kissed her shoulder, lest we not forget. He accepts her apology. No kidding, he accepts her apology. No kidding. Part of his bigger plan. And admits he's probably been coming on a little too strong. Really?
Thanks, Frankie.
And again, this is the line of the ship and suggests they have dinner later. Everybody wants to have dinner later. It's a fancy thing. The captain, although I will say this, no captain's dinner on this episode.
We haven't had captain's dinner in a while.
Yeah,
That
I
club
can't.
was hopping, but there wasn't a lot of dinner being eaten.
No.
There was a lot of dancing being served.
Yeah, it's weird as they sort of reverse course on the captain's dinner. Also, the chef is making veal parmesan, and they happen to both of them happen to love veal parmesan. Fact, that's what they said the chef was making.
The last time I had veal parmesan, I was a kid, and I'd never had it, and it was really tasty. And I ate a bunch of it. I was like 8, right? And I ate a bunch of it, and I went to bed, and then I got sick and threw up on all the National Geographics that we had on the steps that we were getting rid of the next day.
Or at least it was a glossy page magazine.
Yeah, I've never had veal parmesan or probably read National Geographic since. So
That's funny. We should go to Philly and have some veal parmesan and read National Geographic just to right that ship.
Is that what happened to you on your birthday?
I did 2 years in a row. Oh,
veal,
wow. Yeah. And then a cheesesteak after. Yeah, that was breakfast sandwich too. Gopher's struggling to communicate with Brigitte in French. And he wants her to know, how much he kind of likes her. And he gives up, and he's going to go get his English-French dictionary. Once he's gone, Yvonne is asking her, Brigitte, where she's been all morning. Brigitte talks in English. Yvonne loses her you-know-what and says, don't speak English so loudly until after she's off the ship. Brigitte says she's going to have a hard time keeping this whole French only language thing going. That she tells people that maybe she can just tell people she became fully bilingual after studying a Berlitz book that she bought.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow. Vaughn's nah. She says no, she's not going on any more cruises with her. Brigitte tells her this and then walks away.
Why does Yvonne care if Gopher knows that they're not French? Like, he's not going to say anything, right? Like, he doesn't care. It would make it a lot easier.
I don't think he cares, but I'm sure, like, if he said something to Julie, she would care. It would.
But he wouldn't say something to Julie because that would blow up his spot.
Oh, because she could just be like, "Can this be our little secret kind of deal?" And he's
That's all. Parlez-vous.
That's all. All right, fair enough. I'm not mad at it. Double amnesia. He tells Lily. He feels like he's known her for years, supporting the double amnesia theory, and that they're meant for each other. Oh, and then she says, "Well, let me just remind you, you actually have known me for years." And says, "I love you." Like, what? And then he proposes and says, "Move to California." Let me just hit the pause button there. Like, what? So much.
That whole scene is insanity. She loves him. Then they talk about getting married. but then they argue about where they should live. And then they are fighting because Alex doesn't think that he's good at the job that he used to have. And then Patty Duke gets mad about that. And
It's
then
crazy.
and then he's like, "Lady, you're out of your mind."
Yeah. Yeah, that's odd. Hold on one second.
So then Patty Duke has the quickest reversal of course in the history of mankind. So Alex is like, "Lady, you're out of your mind," and then she gets mad and she's like, "You're the one who's out of his mind." And then like literally it's, "You're the one who's out of his mind. Wait, Alex, I'm sorry."
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't even let him take it in before she apologizes. So
I just wrote like, just hit him in the head already.
I
Enough's
want to
enough.
play that song, like the Wild Bill song that din it, ooh, Silence of the Lambs. That's
Yeah.
all I was thinking was just like, this guy is nuts. It's not amnesia. He's just crazy.
like he kills her 20 minutes into her entering the house in California, right?
Oh, yeah,
I
skin
don't
suit.
I don't
Like
think
she's
they ever
floating
see
down the
each other.
Russian River.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think
calm
that-
river. Yeah.
Lily has not seen this guy since they got off the boat. That was it. He
Yeah.
was like, fool me once, shame on you. He was out. There's no chance they're in California making music.
Well, that's why I was wondering. So if you're Patty Duke, right, and you eventually decide you're going back
Yeah.
to California with him,
Right.
you go home ostensibly to quit your job, pack up your apartment, make
Mhm.
arrangements, all that stuff. If he has real amnesia, there's a real good chance he's not going to remember you when you show up again. You have to do
Right.
this all over again.
Yeah, what if it's like 50 First Dates or whatever, like that one movie where she could only remember one day at a time? Good thing it's only a 3-day cruise. I mean, there's just not a lot to remember. He
Yeah.
wakes up every day like Frosty the Snowman, just happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
This was good. Heather, the Shelley Long character, drops by Daryl's cabin as he's shaving. It's so weird. And she gets annoyed. Number one, she gets annoyed that he's shaving. And number two, she's annoyed at how much he likes to look at himself in the mirror. He says that she's a boring egghead with the sex appeal of a bowling ball.
I mean, it's Sam and Diane.
It's
It's
Diane, same
amazing.
thing. It's the
It's
same
amazing
dynamic.
how it is.
It's so weird.
She's great
And-
at it, though, man.
Oh, it's natural.
I mean,
Natural.
it's perfect. Like that guy couldn't hold a candle to Ted Danson, but
No, not at all. But yeah, it was weird to. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
She sprays shaving cream all over his face
Yeah.
and then storms out.
like to the point where I was a little concerned about his well-being. Like it was a lot of shaving cream, very up close.
There was a lot of shaving
In
cream.
his eyes, yeah.
In his it's like blinded.
Funny.
Shame the
Gopher-
doctor's busy. We can't fix that guy's eyes.
That's funny. Gopher's struggling with his French still. Telling Brigitte he wishes that she could speak his language. And she blurts out something in English. And this is at dinner. This is that scene you were talking about, Mike.
It's amazing.
Like
So,
three
yeah,
layers.
So basically they shoot it where the table is in the foreground and then in the background there's Isaac at a very busy bar and he's chatting and serving drinks and it was they've never done that shot before. It was really cool, but they had to do it because it was Gopher and Brigitte here and then Yvonne and Klinger back here, and she just to get out of this jam just takes wine and just dumps it right on him. It was hilarious.
Zero like technique. It was just
No
a
no
dump. It was
subtlety.
like a big glass.
Oh, yeah.
But for as many dumb like pratfall type things that they had, that was really I thought that was great. Like that whole little scene was really I
thought that
enjoyed
was
all
good.
of it. I enjoyed Isaac in the background. I enjoyed that whole little scene. So.
That was good. Those are the kind of things that I love about the show. When they do something like that, where it's just it's physical comedy, but it just involves a bunch of different characters, just very well.
Wasn't somebody
multi-layered.
falling in the pool again. Yeah.
Love it. he gets up to go. Yvonne tells him she has something he can get the Weinsteins out with, and kind of gives Brigitte like a stink eye kind of look. Julie happily dancing with Nick. Basically saying now, wow, maybe this whole matchmaking thing wasn't all, smoking. Maybe it was real. Maybe you're right. Then we see Sam chiding Penny. Matt, he's irritated because she just all she talks about is sex. And he makes it pretty clear, hey, I'm no longer into you.
She was a cultural desert.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yvonne lowered. What's up?
The ultimate insult.
The ultimate insult.
You're a cultural desert.
Just
dare you.
What's another thing too? It's funny how often they use this sort of, quote unquote wingman. You always have like
two pair, yeah.
See, it's always like that, where one goes in this way and one's doing more. One's sort of it's like every other episode. It's that same storyline, like the Juan Epstein thing. It was the same thing, but it was more people. Last week, same thing. It's just interesting. They just always the two spinsters. Remember, it's always there's always a double. It's just interesting that they rely on that.
I guess it's hard to do like a single person.
Yeah,
because
you're really
more on the
limiting
writers.
Yeah,
interesting. Yvonne brings Gopher into her cabin to get him undressed, and she basically tells him that like she can't get rid of the stain, but she can get rid of him. Grabs his uniform and leaves the cabin, and Gopher's just kind of in his underwear, doesn't know what's going on.
So why would she
give
up the French part of it? Like, I don't understand what her plan was. Gopher's got other clothes. He lives on the boat.
Right.
Yeah.
But now you're busted. Now you busted the French thing.
Because now
your play was there.
You sort of ticked him off. If you had just brought him back
and fixed his clothes,
you didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
And really, you could have fixed his clothes and taken a while and gotten whatever you wanted out of Klinger.
Right.
And then I mean, she clearly pisses him off because he blows her up at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
but I don't think he would have. Yeah, I don't think he would have had she not gone this nutso.
I don't think she thinks that far ahead. Clearly, with like the whole French,
she had dollar signs.
Saying like, "Yeah, we're gonna just
don't
only
think this
speak
was
French." Great idea, Brigitte. Sorry.
She's just a hotshot pilot. It's gonna get her in trouble one of these days.
Yeah,
it is. Oh, they're back to Lily telling Doc how she screwed it up with double amnesia. When she said, "Hey, maybe you could live and work in New York." And she said that because basically, I know he's brilliant, and we would make all these great jingles. And then here's Doc. He says, "Well, maybe it was the pressure of trying to make it in New York that, quote unquote, broke his brain." And Lily says, "Yeah, maybe that's been putting undue pressure on him." Listen, I think we've all been under a certain amount of pressure in our lives, but I've never been under so much pressure that I fake amnesia and then somehow are dumb enough to come. I'm just saying, there's a limit to what stress can do.
Can you imagine being that talking to a doctor? Like, what led you to this? It's like, I used to write jingles and
I'm just
it got
tired.
Crazy, Doc. Like
everything got nuts.
Just got nuts.
Did you ever work with your wife?
I do now.
We shared an office. And that was...
Yeah, I remember that not going great.
No, it was not good. It was not good.
There was a food cart when I worked in Center City. Great food cart, had the best chicken salad. It was a little food cart, and they were a married couple. And the food cart closed because they got divorced because it was just too much. It was like...
Was it good chicken salad?
Every day.
Oh, it was great chicken salad, but I don't think they had amnesia. I think it was just, so.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is don't walk a mile in Ted Wilcox's shoes before.
I mean, maybe if I've learned anything from this episode, maybe what I do is put this into practice, meaning like the next time Mrs. Taylor and I get in an argument, I fake amnesia
There you go.
and just sell it for as long as and just who are you?
Until
Like,
somebody
why are you in my
beats you in
home?
the parking lot.
Yeah, who are you and these children? Whose children are these? I know the dog, but I don't know you. Can I do select?
Remember parts of this.
Yeah.
Piper.
Hey, Piper, come here. Piper.
Piper.
I never treat her. Don't worry.
So
Everything's
they
we're gonna go for a
kind
walk.
of talked
I would
about in the
never quit you.
beginning that like she had the best authorities looking for him and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So did they just like did they bury him? Did they have like an empty casket funeral? Like what was
Like,
the
how
end
far
game
did he
there?
go?
I hope
How
so.
far did he go? Was this
Yeah.
like a John Wick type thing? Like he had to. It's interesting.
Didn't she say it was 5 years? I think it was it 5 years?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
something
like a
like that,
long
yeah.
time.
Yeah, you're definitely having fake burial for that.
Yeah, but
Right.
it's
Like
the
did she get the
70s
insurance
too.
money?
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Does
Like
she
it's
have
cr-
the
Well,
all
no,
the
they weren't
publishing rights
married. They weren't
for
married.
Cologne jingle?
He's probably like, this terrible song. You can have him.
She got all
He
the
just
money.
walked
Yeah,
away.
got all the rights to it.
That was
And
not
he
one of
still-
his 54 Billboard top 100s.
Apparently,
Reach out and grab
she gave him double amnesia, but it wasn't so bad where he wouldn't take off his identical ring. Like, are you kidding me? No, there's nothing that I can identify me except for this oddly specific piece of jewelry that there's only 2 of in the world.
Maybe
So-
they made 2.
Oh,
So you're Ted Wilcox, right?
mhm.
Well, you're Alex, whatever his name was.
right.
Mhm.
And you have faked amnesia
Yeah.
and left New York to get to California because Patty Duke loves California so much she's never going to leave New York. You're never going to see this woman again. You're fine. You're enjoying your guitar and your weird cabin. Of all the gin joints in all the world, she shows up on this boat and you're busted. Because
I mean,
in
what are the odds?
1978, you can't find anybody that doesn't want to be found. Like it's
Yeah,
impossible.
it's all
Did you
cash.
look in Did you look in the phone book? I mean, what else? What aside from that? What are you going to do? Hire a private investigator?
It's DB Cooper and Ted Wilcox.
Yeah, and who killed JR? Those are the
Yeah.
biggest mysteries of that time. I couldn't figure that out.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out.
Bounce back from that if you're Patty Duke once she finally realizes that he's been faking this whole time. Like,
Oh, I think her
she quits
self-esteem.
She quit her job. She tears her life apart to move to California, and then in about 3 months, she's going to be like, "Hey, did you get the milk?" And he's like, "No, shut up. This is worse than that Christmas party in '75." And then
Dun,
that's it.
dun.
Yeah, this is why I got amnesia.
Yeah, this is why I had to create a new identity.
But like she can't even. It's like almost like she can't even be mad at his fake amnesia, which leads me to believe that there's going to be more amnesia coming. Like that slate's going to be needed to be like wiped every.
Like an
What?
Etch a
Who are
Sketch.
you? Every
6
day.
months into the marriage. Yeah.
Just-
Did you take the trash out?
What?
Huh?
What?
What happened? I
I
don't
just
know.
signed a lease. What?
I'm Alex.
trash?
Yeah. Shut up, Ted. Yeah.
I know they don't do like recurring characters, but I would watch these two come back on the boat in like a couple years just to see.
Oh, especially with your premise too. Like do you remember when you buried me? You know, like I'll just. Yeah. Oh, your mom and dad were there. Ted. Just go dark.
Captain Steubing, really productive episode for old Merrill this week. He accomplished. No, he couldn't even get his card into the machine.
he drove.
And
that
he had 2
thing.
sticks and he fed a card.
He's like,
Captain.
look at my tag right here,
Yeah, right here.
Julie. Yeah.
Steubing's asking Nick if he's all so desperate here. Just the energy. Have you been able to get my card into the machine yet? And Nick's like, no, I haven't. And then Crazy Julie's back. She is ready to hook up with Nick. You can just see it. Like, uh-oh. We've seen that look before.
This is where Nick's wearing that weird red shirt. We're like
That's
a
an
red
odd
shirt with
look.
a deep V.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it looks like
He's
a
37. He doesn't know how
Valentine's
to
Day
dress.
Teddy.
Or
Yeah.
51.
Yeah. He's the 50.
It's like he
he's
argued with wardrobe, like, no, I'm wearing this, and they're like, just let him do it. Yeah. Yeah.
I brought this from home.
Yeah. This is
Mr.
me.
Avalon, why do you need 6 hair dryers? Just give me 6 hair dryers.
Nikki needs.
Also, I need 6 hands.
If the humidity isn't 400%, my face falls down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 37.
Can I say something about the Captain Steuben, like the whole
Please.
card thing?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny whenever Gopher, like the whole like Captain Steuben was like walking him through the hallway when he's wearing the dress. I was really hoping Nick would be like, "Oh yeah, we did put your card in the machine," and he lined up with Gopher, and it's just
Just
like
because
Gopher.
he's now in a dress,
Yeah, yeah.
it automatically changes your profile based on what you're wearing.
Doc
Yeah.
Kingdom too. Doc
Yeah.
got a good zinger in. He's like, "Hey, they finally found you a date."
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I see the computer finally
Doc
came up
like
with a
ran
criteria.
from his scene to get that
love it.
zinger in.
Yeah,
I love
It's
it.
like,
And you can't. I think
The writers didn't put that in. It's like,
no,
no, I
that
was
was
him.
ad lib on set.
uh,
It is though
Um,
that thing where
hmm.
like Steubing, he's been so inconsistent, right? And this was just
Absolutely.
another version of pathetic Steubing. Like this is
Pathetic Stubing.
with his
pathetic.
levers.
Stubby would be horrified. He'd be like, "You wait a minute. You put your name in a for dating while you were the captain of a
Right.
Stubby would have
You ain't
none
got
of
time.
this.
Yeah,
The real Captain Stubing.
yeah.
How long do you think? Because
Hmm,
I'm getting this already for the Stubbies, our year-end review.
big deal.
But
Big deal.
everybody on the crew has hooked up 3, 4, 5, whatever times. Stubby's got a donut, but now we know he's trying, which makes it so much worse.
Right.
So what's the streak? Are we getting to DiMaggio? Are we getting to 56 episodes before a Steubing romance?
Well, I mean, if he continues tactics like come back to my room and look at the big book of shipwrecks, then yes, he will continue. Okay, here's one. Will he hook up before the end of this season? How many episodes do we have left? 4?
4
Oof.
or
If he's
5.
this deep in, oh, that's not looking good.
I think they might have to do it just to right the ship. No pun intended.
Yeah, he's got to do
Just
something.
Wonder if they save it for the big 2-parter to open season 2.
Yeah,
there's a 2
you got to do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to come back with a 2-parter to start next season.
Oh, that's
So, yeah,
real.
get ready.
Wow.
Get ready, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, we're coming.
And it has to be unique. It's either somebody way younger than him or way older.
Oh, way older would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I hope it's Phyllis Diller. That would be
Oh,
great.
B. Arthur.
Or the woman that played Madam. She would be great too. Or Madam.
Yeah. Oh, stupid.
We're
Steubing's dating Madam
Madam.
and Lady Elaine from the land of make believe.
He's BFS with King Friday. Just, ooh.
All right, so I'm officially guessing first the 2-parter for season 2. So you want to put a guess in, Mike? We can't cheat.
I
so
say before the end of the
Okay,
season.
so
I
you
think
think
something's going to happen.
sometime in
you
the
know?
next 5 episodes.
I
Okay.
think they have to. Like, it just doesn't. Julie's hanging out in Nick's cabin. Who has a pitcher of cocoa? Isn't it
Yeah, that
something
was
you have water
weird.
and you add? That's
Oh,
what was
yeah,
their
that was
pitcher, not
weird.
coffee. Like, what kind of psychopath has hot cocoa in a pitcher? Because I know Julie likes it. Frankie Avalon, hair dry, red shirt.
Made it.
Do you think it's on his ride? It's in his rider.
That was so odd.
That was very specific.
Yeah.
And they gave him a very nice room. Like, you see how big
That's
that
a big
room
one.
was? There was seats and everything. It wasn't a small
that's
room. There was a living
the,
room.
I
Oh, if you
think
bring a
that's the
dating
suite.
machine.
I think that's the suite.
The big baller one, like the
Yeah, the
that's what it looked like
Top
suite
deck.
or-
Yeah.
with the
Do you think
cardboard
the
box
computer's
for a
in
bed.
there? Is that why they need the big room? Does they have to
Probably
keep-
why.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Needs
gotta
space
keep
to
it
breathe.
cool.
Do you
It's in the
think
bathroom.
computer
Coolest
is
room.
like sitting there like C-3PO by the pool, just off? Like it's just
They just
Dude.
like put an umbrella over it.
My room on my real cruise was so small that I remember putting one hand out. I'm taller than the average. I'm 6'3" and some change, but I could put my hand and touch one wall and not even move my foot a lot and touch the other wall. 2 beds. There was 2 beds.
I think they just figure, man, that like most people are just out and about getting
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, the hot cocoa
It's a
thing was
big
really
room.
weird. All of a sudden, we are interrupted by all three couples who were matched by this Dermaplatz 5000, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they interrupt their
Nixdorf computer.
the Nixdorf to
Yeah.
complain about how much they all hate each other. Wow.
I
There we
love
go.
that. I love that these people have just somehow found out where this guy is staying. Like this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Security.
if you were in a hotel and I don't know, somebody was selling Girl Scout cookies and the cookie you got open on the box and it was all empty and you went and found the woman who sold you the Girl Scout cookies? Like that's what this is. Like
That's exactly what that
sleep.
is. So weird. Back to Lily. Now Lily's apologizing to Double Amnesia, which is really an amazing turn of events for this Double Amnesia guy. Now the woman that he pretended he had amnesia, but now he remember, he's pulling
Yeah.
this whole thing on, is now apologizing to him.
and that's
Yeah, his
why
game
you
is
have,
strong.
Jeez,
that's
I
why
know.
you fake your own
Yeah.
death to get the upper hand.
Unbelievable. No wonder you had so many
Redo.
hit songs, sir. Jeez.
Yeah.
And he's saying something. She asked if the proposal is still on the table, and says, "I can't give you Manhattan, but I can offer you a rocking chair and a sunset for inspiration."
In a deep
Every
well in my
now and then.
basement. You know,
Like, what is going on here? This is the most bizarre, like, let's just wrap this up. It just, we always say there's at least one, but I don't know which one it is
It-
this week.
He has a drawer full of people's IDs. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, it's this one because
Gotta be, man.
the amnesia is floating so inconsistently. Like I really thought it was going to be that thing where she eventually like metaphorically hits him in the head with their
Sure.
love, right?
Ooh,
And that's
well,
how he
that's that.
remembers.
yeah.
But this
The
is
kiss.
just like sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. And at the very end, I totally remember, which really throws the whole thing off. So
It's situational. Yeah, it's just odd. Love boats approaching the port in LA. Jamie Farr and Walt over here. Brigitte kind of getting on Gopher for abandoning her on the dance floor. And the two guys are like, "You speak English? Like what? What's up?
hold up.
Hold
Wait.
on." And Yvonne emerges from the gift shop with like some piece of like jewelry.
Boat jewelry, the
Yeah,
fanciest of all
boat jewelry.
jewelry.
Yeah, the best of all. They have 13 magazines and boat jewelry. How good is that? Jamie Farr tells her to take a hike, Yvonne, and storms off. She says, "There goes my millionaire," and chases after him.
Ugh.
Gopher kind of, is upset with Brigitte for making him look like a fool by not speaking English. She's just like, it was all
I can
Yvonne's
get-
idea, and they
I
smooched.
can get Gopher's. Why was he mad? Like, if they didn't lie, he never would talk to her. He got to spend all the time with her. You're Gopher. You always look like a fool. I don't know. I thought he doth protest too much.
I
It wasn't
thought it was just-
harmful. Yeah.
I think it was like he was upset about the woulda coulda. You know what I mean? I think he was unduly focused on the woulda coulda, but I don't think there would have been it would. I mean, I don't know.
Go for my friend. We've seen everybody you've landed so far on this ship, and this is by far the best you'll do. So
Yeah, that, and then the woman with the bandage covering most of her
who was
face.
dumb. Who was
Yeah,
dumb.
looked
Yeah.
super dumb, but had pretty eyes. Because most people have most of their face covered by bandages have pretty eyes.
Megan Fox's grandmother. I'm going to keep calling her that. That's. I was like, whoa.
No, she was very attractive, and I actually
Yeah.
thought she was a pretty good actress for that role because at first I was like, oh, she must be some bimbo, but she was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a good nose. I don't know why that stood out, but she just had like a weirdly perfect nose. It was very odd.
I agree.
That's what Gopher's into, is noses. You know how
Noses,
Doc likes them big, Gopher likes noses.
He's like, "Take that bandage off. Do it for Gopher."
Oh, look at
Do
the
it slow.
nostrils flaring.
Do it slow for Gopher.
Lily says goodbye to Doc, and she's leaving the ship with double amnesia. and then kisses her and says the thing that I didn't know I was capable of being this mad. I love you more than I did before.
Yeah.
Scene. That's it. That
Yep.
storyline's
Oh,
wrapped.
yeah.
Yep.
What?
Weird.
So is that in the show's universe? Is that, you know how there's that like shared nostalgia where people like Shazam, right? Like people
Mhm.
think that something really happened just because everybody always says it happens, but it didn't really happen. Do you think that he's just been like, it's been beaten into him? He's been gaslighted about his past for 3 days that he just remembers it now, or is he faking? He's faking.
He's probably just
He's
like,
faking.
shut up already.
Yeah, just get to
Lily.
the house.
Enough. Of course I
Yeah, I
remember
live.
you.
This is definitely my address. Come here.
Well, what
Yeah.
happens when she gets there and it's like all the same clothes? It's like, wait a minute. You have all of the same clothes?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it'd be
Same
hilarious.
car?
You know, it'd be
Yeah.
hilarious.
If there was a if he was married again.
No, it.
I forgot.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey, I just landed at the airport. He's like, cool, I'll be right there. And he goes to the airport and he doesn't go to arrivals. He goes to departures and he goes back to New York. And shockingly, Alex is back. I'm back, baby. Ready
Yeah.
to take back New York.
Pumping out the hits, making
I got a
money.
new
And
I
she
got a new
flies
jingle.
back. She flies back and he flies back to
Right.
California.
He's like, I just got a lesson learned. Don't
Yeah.
take any 3-day Valentine's Day
Yeah.
cruises.
On the West Coast, he's Alex. On the East Coast, he's Ted.
Mr.
Teddy
Ted.
East Coast and Alex West Coast. That's how he
Yeah.
remembers. We're back to Nick. He's embarrassed about how how badly the matches worked out. Stubing says the machine is obviously broken because it would have, if it wasn't broken, he would have been matched up with someone.
Gopher.
Yeah. A few seconds later, we see that the three former couples have now reshuffled. Now it's Betsy and Daryl, Penny and Chet, which totally makes sense.
Dawn Fry.
Chet
Yeah.
Maxwell.
Heather and Sam. I think Penny and Chet, they walk out and they get right into Chet's van, which is just parked right across the
yeah.
street.
Yeah.
Chet's van. I love
Yeah.
that. Just
Yeah.
Nick said he's surprised about how these all got together because a computer would have never paired those combos of people together. And then he admits that he rigged their hookup because, again, as we all know, Captain Obvious, she never filled out a card. Come on. Julie grabs his hand and she escorts him off the ship.
Right. So you lied,
It.
and you lied to me as an employer,
Mm-hmm.
or a vendor,
Mhm.
at least.
Right.
And then you
supplier,
lied to
yeah.
me as a romantic interest. God knows what was in that cocoa.
Oh,
I was very disappointed in Julie, because the other thing is too, as an actual hiring, this is a bad hire,
It is.
right? This is like Julie got conned again. This
Yeah.
guy's a con man.
It's work.
There's so many. The Sinatra, the Coco. Like, wouldn't you just be whoa? Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. This. You know how hard it is to be the worst Julie hookup guy? Like, I think
The
Frankie
bar is
Avalon might be the
low.
worst Julie hookup guy.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy. There's a lot of, the more you think about it too, he's just kind of, I've got all of your favorite things on this tray.
Yeah.
I know
Interesting.
everything about you, Julie. Yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna and that wraps it up. The end of the episode.
man.
This was
Kind of crawled to the finish.
that IMDb. And the reason I wanted to add the IMDb rating is I kind of wanted to be like, I don't know what a 6.9 is. I know what a 6.1 is.
Well, now we do.
And this, I don't think it's,
I think it was an entertaining. I didn't get mad at anybody.
the amnesia.
Like I do in the episodes I really hate.
Yeah.
And I thought like there were some charming parts. I actually really ended up liking the Doc end of it, even though he really wasn't in that scene.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, to me it was one of those perfectly harmless, middle of the pack episodes. Now, to your point, a 6.9 is probably pretty high for this season.
That's
right?
what I thought.
I
That's what
agree.
I thought.
Yeah, that's way too high.
Yeah.
5.4.
I feel like it's a bit
Yeah.
high.
But-
I'd give it. I don't know. Somewhere between 6.5 and 6.7.
Was it better than last week?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's what it is. Like ultimately, it's like if we were ranking these, which thank God we're not, it
Oh,
would be like the
Yeah.
middle.
yeah.
It would be
I
the
agree.
middle
I
third,
agree.
right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree.
So as we said, Turtles and Recap, this is not the best episode.
No,
But
no,
but the last couple weeks were not good generally.
no. Mm-mm.
And so this was just fine. This was just perfectly acceptable. I don't think there was any bad storylines. There weren't any great storylines either,
Mm-mm.
but it was
Mm-mm.
fine.
It was
was
fine.
perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
it was fine.
Yeah.
It was perfectly fine.
Which
I wouldn't have.
unfortunately is what we're taking, I think, at this point. So
Yeah, we'll take
Mm.
perfectly fine.
Captain of the Week, the best of the week. Chris, your choice for best of the week.
Man, that's going to be a toughie on this one. Definitely not Amnesia. I'm thinking I like the French Girls.
Yep.
Fair enough.
No, I thought they were really
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
I think it would have been better
Juan,
if
Brigitte.
Yvonne had played a little older, but I did like their dynamic, and it's fun to have lady con artists, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, because like
Mm.
you learn later on, and you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael?
I would have to go. I'm a little torn. I'm trying to finalize my decision here. I'm gonna go Nah, I'm gonna go Ricky Nelson. I was
Oh.
reluctant to go Rick Nelson, and I'll tell you why. This guy, the fact that he was able to, like, okay, Rick Nelson, here's the story we're gonna give you, and it's this whole thing and amnesia. He was a good-looking dude, and I just can't believe at the end he was just like, "Yeah, I've always loved you," like that. I think you have to have somebody who has that sort of, maybe not star power or charisma. You just got to be really good looking to be able to pull off what this double amnesia character was able to pull off. That's crime of the century. Crime of the century so far in the 70s for me.
More
So,
than the jewel thief? Or the guy who stole the money from the brokerage house last week?
different categories,
There's a
but
lot of crime. You hate
lot of
crime on the
crime.
boat. This is
I
a
do
love
hate
crime.
crime on the boat. It is a love crime. It's the
crime.
worst. It's the worst kind of crime. I'm gonna go Rick Nelson.
Okay. I am going. Well, I'm actually going with Chet Maxwell, but if I don't pick Chet Maxwell, I'm going with the Doc Patty Duke scenes because that was like almost like a fourth storyline, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
And that's 2 episodes now that we've seen those 2, because you remember Doc was involved a lot in the first Patty Duke story. They have really good chemistry.
They do have really good chemistry.
I would like it if Patty Duke was one of the 4 Doc ex-wives. That would make me happy.
Oh, I
we
like
don't-
that.
Yeah,
I
we
like
don't know who they're
that.
going to be yet. I hope they're of a quality. But I'll give it to the Doc and
I
Patty
like
Duke
that.
combo, especially once I figured out they hooked up in that one scene.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Walk the plank, worst of the week, Mike.
Worst of the week. Geez. That's a tough one. It's never tough. It's Captain Steubing. Hands down. That's not even a challenge. I
He
mean,
just hates him.
he
I'm
just
gonna go back
didn't
and
do
count
anything.
these up at the end and see how many you've given it to Steubing.
Yeah.
I don't intentionally set out to label him as the worst of the week.
Drive the boat.
I mean, he doesn't drive. He had 2
But he
sticks
did.
in
He
this
finally
episode.
steered something.
Right.
Something.
He steered something. He didn't steer the ship.
It was probably the laundry room or something, you know.
Who knows? They were like, no, Captain, move those sticks. It didn't
Yeah.
do anything. He was more concerned with this. It's Captain Steubing. It is what it is.
Chris, worst of the week.
Oh, I was infuriated with the whole Alex, Ted, Julie thing. Like that whole plot just ate me up.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, I did not like Ted / Alex. Oh,
That's not the first time we've had diametrically opposed winners and losers, but I
yeah.
think
That is true.
I think that plot line definitely allows that, right? Like
Oh yeah, I
there
agree.
was a lot.
Oh, it was so irritating.
And like I said, I didn't like the Alex Lily stuff as much as I like the Lily Doc stuff. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
and this is probably the first time I've done this. Saddens me to say, I'm going with Julie. I feel like
Wow.
it was a bad week professionally.
I agree.
Because I think she got scammed again by that computer guy. And I think it was a bad week personally because she got scammed by that computer guy.
Yeah.
And if you graph the Julie season, right? She was up here for a while, and then she really went on a dip and kind of bottomed out with the priest. But she had been coming back up in recent weeks, and this wasn't great.
Not her best moments.
I'm gonna sadly give it to Julie, which I don't like to do, but
that's rough.
But at least she had the same outfit on at the right times this week, so that was good.
Yeah, I do notice that. I watch it like a hawk now.
I think it was that 3-week period of continuity, and we haven't had a problem.
It was bad. Yeah, it was really bad.
That's totals and recap.
All right. Anything to plug, sir?
I have nothing to plug.
Nothing to plug.
No, I did do some little interesting research things. If I could say that, if that's
please.
So, like Gopher,
Mhm.
Fred Grandy, I believe is how it's pronounced, worked as a speechwriter for Iowa Representative Wiley Maine. That's his real name. Before landing the role of Gopher in 1987 and began his own 8-year stint as a member of the United States House of Representatives.
You know why I know that?
That blew me away.
I was catfished by the guy. Of course I know that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I forgot.
I was asking hard-hitting follow-up questions.
Fred.
Oh,
Like,
fake
you were
Fred
House
Grandy.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he's retired now, I guess.
One thing that made me sad was I looked up about the ship because I was curious. I wanted to know, did they film it on a set? But they filmed it on a real boat. And some of the scenes were filmed during the actual cruise on the Pacific Princess and its sister ship, the Island Princess. Real passengers were often used as extras. I thought that was very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We noticed on the 2-part episode that we did, they definitely did a lot more on the boat stuff. Like you could tell it was like legitimate backgrounds and stuff. Whereas here, is there even
shot?
Is there even a water shot?
Mm-mm.
I don't.
Just
the back deck
shot.
They had the next morning, the back deck where everybody.
Yeah. But
interesting. All right. Well, I just want to check the mailbag real quick to see if we got any email this week. No email. You can email us at theloveboatproject@gmail.com. You can find us where you find all of your audio podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. And when you do, if you would, hit that subscribe button for us. That would be wonderful.
Do it.
Also, check us out. We have a Love Boat Project Facebook group. But the king of the mountain here is the Love Boat Project on Instagram. Please, there's reels coming out every other day. Check there for new content. Always, every day. Do it now.
Don't say that. No, not every day.
Not every day. Not every day. Not every day.
Pressure.
I got a little carried away.
Those take a little longer than the emails.
Yeah. Sorry.
Check out our merch store.
Merch store.
Pressure,
Whoa, slow down. Whoa, no. Next episode, Mike, episode 20, quite the milestone. We see another MASH cast member. We welcome Alice Cramden to the boat, and Spencer for Hire returns.
He's back already?
Another guest star with multiple appearances.
Recycle.
Wow. I love Robert Urich.
That's a low bar to clear. He was not very utilized in that first one. So
I love Robert Urich. He could have been so much more.
I hope he's a boat detective. Plus, I got to hear about you talk about Spencer for Hire for like an
Oh,
hour.
love it. There's that kid Hawk. Oh, geez, I love that show. All right. Well, Chris, thank you for being our guest this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Mike, I will see you next time.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.